To tell the truth. When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, black voices, black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected, stay informed, stay loud.
Stand up.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Choice is a process of the intellect. I explain this as much as we can, discuss it, go into it. But I see the significance of it. Now, to be aware, what does that mean, to be aware? To be aware of things about you outwardly, and also to be aware inwardly, what's happening, your motives, your anxiety. To be aware, again, choicelessly. Watch, look, listen, so that you are watching without any movement of thought. Mm-hmm. The thought is the image. Thought is the word. To watch without thought coming and pushing you in any direction. Just to watch.
I hear what you saying, Murty dog. Krishnamurti is making it clear. Can you watch without categorizing, evaluating, judging, criticizing, critiquing? Many people misinterpret self-awareness. They think self-awareness is, and this isn't to say that it isn't, but it's more than just this, but it's not just your favorite color, what type of food you like, do you like to travel, your temperament, right? It's more. It's more. How do you show up? Right? Different types of people. How do they affect you? Different situations and scenarios. How are you triggered? What are the roots of your triggers? Right? self-awareness is a big deal. And because self-awareness, I mean, we've talked about this, it's difficult to be aware of the self in totality. It's easy to be aware of the self you like, the parts of the self that you like. Tonight's topic, self-awareness does not equal self-attack, self-abandonment, or self-erasure. I need y'all to listen, because we put so much emphasis on our intimate partners to show up right when we show up misaligned with our very selves. Who are you really? I ask this question all the time. I asked it today. Can you name 3 things that make you a good catch? Oh, people got so many things to say. They got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 things to name. Right? Even if they aren't these things, even if they perceive themselves to be these things, they will name them. But when I say, can you name 3 things that make you unrelatable and or undateable? Can you name 3 character flaws? Do you know what the number 1 character flaw that comes up most of the time is? Andy, do you have an idea? The number 1 that comes up the most is, I'm too nice. That ain't no damn character flaw. I mean, it could be. If you fake nice, then yeah, you did that to yourself. Do you see? Tonight's topic, self-awareness is not self-attack, self-abandonment, or self-erasure, right? You sit down, you're ready to do the work. Your journal is open. Your mind is quiet. You tell yourself this time you will finally see your patterns clearly. And right on cue, the sequence starts. You know, your breath gets short. Heat builds up behind your eyes and up your spine. Before the first honest observation lands, you already turned yourself against yourself. Why do people keep choosing the same type? Why can't you just let go? The voice sounds wise. It sounds mature. It sounds like growth, progression. What it actually is the same old whip you learned to swing on yourself years ago, now wearing, a self-awareness mask, right? That tightening in your chest when the pattern reappears is not a signal to start the self-beating. It is, however, as Precious called it yesterday, data. It's information, right? The body already knows how or knows what your mind is about to rehearse. You feel the familiar pull to text them again or to swallow your truth, to keep the peace, or to shrink your needs so nobody calls you too much or extra. And instead of catching that exact moment, you launch into self-attack. You catalog every flaw. You replay every past failure. You convince yourself awareness means becoming your own harshest critic. Who's guilty of it? 1-800-920-1580. I'm guilty of it at times, for sure. You convince yourself that self-awareness means becoming your own harshest critic. The payoff stays hidden. The pain feels productive. The pattern keeps running untouched. Or maybe you take a quieter route. You notice the loneliness rising up after another almost relationship collapse. The knot in your gut speaks loud and clear. But you abandon it. Why? You push the feeling down. You tell yourself real strength means not needing anyone. You move on like the body never raised its voice. Is this you? How important is self-awareness to successful relationships, to healthy relationships? Earlier this week, we talked about dependency. We talked about outsourcing your needs to another. Well, here's a key need that you need that no one can give you, and that's self-awareness. But why do we see self-awareness as an attack, as self-abandonment, as self-erasure? Why do many of us see it that way? Right? Listen, you tell yourself real strength means not needing anyone. You move on like your body never raised its voice. You call it maturity. You maybe have called it healing, right? What you actually did was ghost the part of you that still carries the original wound. The part of you that learned early on that wanting too much got you dismissed or shamed or left for wanting. You left yourself first, though. You were the first person to leave yourself before anyone else could. See, the pattern thanks you, or the pattern thanks you, and waits for the next trigger. Then there's the version that looks the most spiritual. You decide the rough edges of your actual self are the problem. The directness you grew up with, the humor that cuts through the BS, right? The specific way black men in your family and community were taught to carry everything into silence and call it toughness. Is this your story? 1-800-920-1580. You try to erase it all. You sculpt yourself into the calm one, the evolved one, the one who does not want consistency or passion or real talk, because those things might expose the need underneath. You become smaller to fit the idea of who an aware person should be or should look like. Do you understand the significance of self-awareness? How aware are you of what needs healing within your spirit? Right? Wow. Your relationship, or maybe even your community, praises the new mask you've cultivated. Right? Meanwhile, the real you quietly bleeds out. This is not awareness. This is self-erasure, right? Mocking transcendence. None of those moves intercept anything. They simply give the old sequence a new script to hide behind. I want you to understand this. True self-awareness, it lands differently. It catches the pattern mid-motion. Right? Come on, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you're in a relationship with someone, are you always self-editing the parts of you that are the most authentic? That's a type of self-awareness, right? Nah, I can't say that. I can't do that. That's a type of self-awareness. Right? But when you are put in an uncomfortable moment, in the relationship, and you have to deal with something that's difficult, that might trigger you. Can you name what's rising up in your spirit? Can you name how, I feel like this moment made me feel like back when I was in the 5th grade. Do you know how to do that? What if the heat rising behind your ears right now is not calling you to judge yourself harder, but begging you to catch the pattern before the self-attack begins its familiar swing? If you can't accept you in your fullness, should your partner be required to? I don't know. How many self-aware people you know are in a healthy relationship? How many people think self-awareness is important to a healthy relationship? How long have you confused the inner critic's whip for the clear mirror of awareness? And what old relief do you still get from beating yourself up first? When you feel the knot in your gut after another collapse, before you push it down and call it strength, what part of you are abandoning you so no one else can leave you? How aware are you? And why is self-awareness important to healthy relationships? Do you and your partner have self-discovery talks? This is who I am today. These are some of the things that changed in my character over the week, over the month, over the last 90 days. Do we want that kind of closeness? Do we want that kind of transparency in intimate relationships? What would your relationship look like if you and your partner sat down and had a self-awareness audit where you guys listen to each other, talk about some blind spots in your self-awareness and how to transmute those blind spots into now seen or witnessed spots? I'm interested to know. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. I'm the voice of reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580, always with the relationship slappers who want to talk about it. Get at me.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. These are hard times for housing in America. Too many in our community face barriers to safe housing, behavioral health care, and affirming spaces for healing, particularly those impacted by poverty and stigma or incarceration. Rooted in South LA, Ahmad supports impacted communities through housing, wellness, and leadership development. Ahmad provides culturally responsive, peer-led support from transitional housing and mental health services to leadership development and youth empowerment. They offer safe, affirming houses for youth, transgender women, and formerly incarcerated individuals. Therapy and peer support with a focus on healing trauma in Black communities. HIV prevention and care, free testing, education, and wraparound services for whole person wellness. Standing in the gap with health, housing, and hope. Reach out to Ahmad Institute at 323-569-1610. That's 323-569-1610. Or visit amaad.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580. with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Pakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. Can we keep on partying? Yeah. Everybody put your hands together. Let's go back right here. Hey. Ow. Come on. Ow. Hey. Here we go. Come on. When time gets up, you want to give it up. Just can't let it go like that. Ow. I got no time long to build it up.
Andy with the playlist, the OG playlist. Andy, come on.
Get it. Come on. Just keep on loving me.
Picture this, if you will. You're about to send a text message. You read it for one final check, and you notice something's off. It sounds a bit too eager. So you rewrite it, but, well, now it feels forced. So you try a few more times, and before you know it, it's been over an hour, and your text is still unsent. This is what it's like living with a high level of self-awareness. We are told that being self-aware is necessary to live a life of authenticity, yet the more you know about yourself, the less about yourself you realize you know. In the words of ancient Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi, once I dreamt I was a butterfly, fluttering here and there. Suddenly, I woke up and I was Zhuangzi again. But I don't know. Am I Zhuangzi who dreamt I was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I'm Zhuangzi? This is the terrifying paradox of self-awareness, the moment we begin to ask, who am I really? We split into two. In that instant, we become two different people, the one who asks and the one who's being questioned. And if finding yourself requires watching yourself, are you really discovering who you are, or are you performing for an audience of one?
Interesting. Yeah, he jumped right into the deep end. But I would say most people are mirror mobbing. He went to the philosophical, spiritual deep end. I would say most people are mirror mobbing. Mirror mobbing, you say, Zoe? What is that? Awareness is not standing in the mirror, roasting yourself, and then turning around calling it growth. That's not. Many people are really hypercritical of themselves. Always trying to change. Now, if they try change for the better, of course, and that's not a bad thing if it's not self-destructive, if you're not deconstructing yourself in a negative way through criticism. And if you're doing it to yourself, I know you're doing it to your partner. What about pre-ghosting? You ghosting your own feelings so fast. Pre-ghosting as an idea. And listen, let me just say this again. If you're ghosting yourself, you will ghost your partner. So, and this is for the partners that have been ghosted. I want you guys to be aware. Ask these types of questions. Do you pre-ghost yourself? You're ghosting your own feelings so fast, life doesn't get a chance to hurt you first. Do you see that? You're ghosting your own feelings so fast that life doesn't get a chance to hurt you first. How many of you guys engaged in pre-ghosting? I know people who are like this. Are they self-aware? Is it a defense mechanism? What about case building? Real awareness is feeling that fire in your chest and not turning yourself into a suspect. This self-criticism theme keeps coming back. But why? I want to know. Andy, have you beat yourself up over your relationship? I know. I'm guilty of it too. But when it happens, do you recognize you're doing that to yourself, Andy? Right? Is there a payoff in doing it? Do you feel better? Do you get some type of, right? I think there are people who do this to themselves. Right? Andy done went and got the dang headphones. Look at Andy say, hold on, Zoe. Nah. Go ahead, Andy.
I do get something from it.
What do you get?
It's a great question. I feel like it just it's self-punishment. And I feel like it puts me in line. I feel like I need to beat myself up.
Wow.
To put myself in line.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not the greatest of feelings, but I feel like I need to do that. And also...
So it's like a self-check?
Yes.
But let me just say this. Can you be aware of yourself? Right? Because what you're displaying right there is self-awareness. But the question is, do you have to beat yourself up in order to correct yourself? So if you're trying to correct yourself, does it have to come through reprimand or punishment? Do you see what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something about the human mind. The human mind is like Play-Doh. If you create a pattern for it, it'll go back to that pattern. Let's talk about it. When we come forward, more flames from the voice of reason.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm a Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Mayor Brandon Johnson is marking the completion of Chicago's newest library solar project.
The new solar panels will help to offset a projected 43% of this building's total electricity consumption.
He says the new installation in Little Village is the city's third completed library solar site, joining projects at the Humboldt Park and South Chicago branches. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries faced some tough questions from kid reporters on Capitol Hill Thursday during Take Your Child to Work Day. Along with lighter questions, Jeffries was asked why voters view Democrats poorly and whether he would have voted to expel former Congresswoman Sheila Sherfless McCormick, who is black, if she had not resigned. And Nicki Minaj will attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday as a guest of Fox News. The rapper is expected at the event along with other high-profile guests. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, black voices, black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected. Stay informed. Stay loud.
Stand up!
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Hello, this is Dr. Rosa Milligan calling authors and business owners to register now for Black Writers on Tour plus Business plus AI Expo, Saturday, April 25th, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Carson Event Center.
Learn how to write, publish, and sell your book. Business owners are looking for you now. Let them know where you're at. Call 323-750-3592. Free admission and parking. You heard right, free. Powerful seminar lineup. Go to blackwritersontour.com and register today. 323-750-3592.
Literacy is everybody's business. Black Writers on Tour at the Carson Event Center, Saturday, April 25th, 10 to 4. See you there. 323-750-3592. Visit blackwritersontour.com. Don't you miss it.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The joint will be jumping.
Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Fig Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot-stomping, heart-stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Knowing what movies you like, what foods you like, what songs you like, that is the beginning of self-awareness. Like, it's that basic. It's not this complicated, deep thing that it begins with. It really starts with those things. It starts with these really simple, everyday choices that we all have to make.
Who is that? Jay Shetty. Need to go eat some spaghetti, because I ain't ready for that simplistic answer. And sure, part of what he's saying is true. Yes, what do you like? I'm talking about psychologically. And how some of those blind spots shows up in relationship and actually damage the relationship, hurt the relationship, right? So let's go metaphysical. If we look at the work of Thomas Campbell in his book, My Big Toe, listen to what I'm about to say, because KBLA just released a clip of one of the Wholeness Wednesday shows with myself and Precious McGill, and we were talking about self-love, right? So, in context of this show, self-awareness and self-love go hand in hand, right? Here's the thing. You can't love the whole self unless you're aware of the whole self. If you are still abandoning portions of yourself, you're now setting yourself up for what? Codependency on others, because you're going to outsource that through expectations, right? Do you see? Where there's outsourcing, there will be entropy. Why entropy, Zoe? Second law of thermodynamics. The longer a thermodynamic system goes on, the more it begins to decay into chaos. This goes back to capacity. I'm tired. I'm lifting all the emotional labor. I'm doing all the emotional labor. This is why people, I can't, it's too much. That entropy is built into the spaces that have been what? Abandoned internally. Thomas Campbell says it like this. Love, listen to this, love is the nature of a low entropy being. Love is about others. It's not about the self. Boom, the ego's out of it. So when Andy says, hey, I judge myself harshly, and I feel like there's a payoff in the pain that I get. Why? Because the ego loves judgment. The ego doesn't care where it gets its supply from. So again, love is the nature of a low entropy being. A high entropy being is someone that isn't individuated internally, that isn't even working on individuation or integration of their abandoned parts, right? They're not even working on that. So that's a high entropy being, chaos. They can look great on paper. Their dress, their car, their money, they look all, but internally in a state of high entropy, which is disorder, right? Our purpose, listen to what Thomas says here. Our purpose is to grow up and become love. Now, I would push back on one word, become. You can never become something you are already. Most people who are broken internally don't know that they are love already. Love is recognition. Do you see? You have to discover that within yourself. Do you see? So he says, our purpose is to grow up, and I would say discover, realize, recognize. This goes back to Paramahansa Yogananda's self-realization, right? He also says there is a logical connection between lowering the entropy of your consciousness and becoming love. Becoming love, cooperating, working together, and compassion. All these things are ways of lowering internal entropy. They are ways of building. They are ways of helping. Do you see? This was a man who was once a physicist who turned into a metaphysician, a spiritualist. So this is why he's using physics terms like entropy. He's saying, as long as you're dependent and you're outsourcing and you're not turning inward, you're not leaning in with love in all the parts of yourself, you're building entropy. Now, the longer a thermodynamic system goes on, the more it begins to break down into chaos. So guess what entropy is holding hands with? Obsolescence. The relationship is on a timer. It's gonna end. No self-work, no self-love, no self-approval, no... Do you see? This is why self-awareness is so important. When we come forward, we're going to speak. Now, we talked about Thomas Campbell, but when we come forward, we're going to go to another philosopher and get their take on self-awareness. And I want you guys to apply this to your current relationship and see how self-aware you are.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
My name is Tyrone Owens, and this is my home for 23 years that burned in the fire. Me and my wife, Charlene, we had this whole yard decorated every year.
This was the house that sparkled throughout the entire neighborhood on all the holidays. It's a community that will never be the same due to the negligence of a utility company. So I am pretty upset about that.
We were nowhere near being able to rebuild with our insurance. It's going to cost $1 million to put your house back up.
I want to get back to that point where we were before the fire. I'm starting to get emotional, but I'll work through it. LA Fire Justice has been wonderful for us. They're just caring people. I mean, we have all faith in them.
Big ups to LA Fire Justice, who's given us hope to rebuild 100%.
Advertisement. Douglas Foster, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Stay informed with 24/7 power outage alerts from LADWP delivered straight to your phone or email when an outage occurs. Get notified when there's a major outage and again when your power is restored. Track up to 3 neighborhoods, like your home, your workplace, even a family member's. Stay connected. Stay informed. Sign up at ladwp.com/outage alert. That's ladwp.com/outage alert. Sign up today at ladwp.com/outage alert. Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
Turn the dial to where the truth lives. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Faye Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Get a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You get a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into...
We're paying too much attention to the immediate pleasures of life. There's so many of these other distractions going on. You want to be paying attention to yourself. And the problem with people in the world today is you're not paying attention to yourself. You're not inside your own head. You don't hear those voices. You don't hear what you love, what you like anymore. And so you're always like attuned to what other people like. Self-awareness, being able to hear those voices is the key to everything.
Hey, man, that was Robert Greene, author of The 48 Laws of Power. And he was cooking. I'm not mad at what he was saying. Again, the more you depend, and that's self-erasure, right? The more you depend on someone else to bring you happiness, someone else to bring you a self-definition, a sense of self, a sense of purpose, the more codependent you might become, right? You might lose yourself. I love, of course, the way Krishnamurti dealt with Andy's issue. Andy's talking about beating up himself. Andy, my little brother, I can't let that happen. Tonight's topic is a deep one, self-awareness. It's not the same as self-attack or self-abandonment, right? It's not the same thing. Many people feel under attack when they put that critical lens that they have for others onto themselves. Listen to how Krishnamurti explains it. Krishnamurti defined self-awareness as choiceless. This right here should help you, Andy, off rip. I don't want to see you in the mental boxing ring again, putting hands on yourself, Andy. Hey, yo, Paul, I didn't mean that. I don't want to see you beating yourself up. Oh, wow, it's getting worse. Okay. This should help. Krishnamurti defended self-awareness, or defined self-awareness as choiceless, non-judgmental observation of one's thoughts and emotions in the present moment, rather than introspection or self-improvement. As soon as there's an evaluation, something is wrong, I got to change it. When Andy came in here and said, wait, I'm supposed to sit with the negative feeling, I said yes. Because if you sit with the feeling without resistance and not judge it, right? Because if you sit with the feeling, right? And this is you observing yourself, you sit with that feeling and you're just watching it from a non-judgmental space. And I would even take it higher. I would observe it from an empathetic, loving space, right? As you are. And you're not trying to change it, because wherever there's judgment and evaluation, there's going to be the desire to improve, right? I got to do this better. No, you did it the best you could in that moment, which is gone, right? Self-awareness as choiceless, non-judgmental observation of one's thoughts and emotions in the present moment, rather than introspection or self-improvement. He taught that understanding the self is the root of all conflict and fear. And it comes from watching its operations in relationship and daily life. Do you understand why so many people feel like being self-aware is somewhat of an attack? And like Andy pointed out so clearly, when you're looking at yourself, you automatically want to fix what you perceive to be wrong because you're looking at yourself through the lens of judgment. So again, awareness, self-awareness is observation without condemnation. This is how Krishnamurti saw this. Self-knowledge is the beginning of wisdom. And without that self-knowledge, you cannot and will not go far. He says ignorance can be dissipated only by constant awareness of the movements and responses of the self, listen, in all its relationships. Now, if you know, basically, you can articulate what's wrong with you, and you do nothing about it. You can articulate it, but you're not trying to unpack it. What then? How do you move into adult relationships then? And I'm going to say something that might feel uncomfortable. I'm just going to say it. You come into a relationship as a beggar, regardless of your status in society. Because now they need to show up like your mama, or they need to show up like your daddy. Or do you see? Do you see what I'm saying? If you come into that situation, it doesn't matter what your social status is. You haven't done any of this real work. And people go, work. I'm going to keep telling you, the work is not complicated. The work is non-judgmental self-observation. Without criticism, without evaluation, without pulling out the whip and lashing yourself because you were a human and you made a mistake. Listen to what he says. Listen. This is the work. Everybody tries to complicate it. The work is observing yourself. You guys remember a couple of years ago, I said, you're not supposed to go into the relationship looking for how they're going to show up. You're supposed to go into the relationship looking and being aware of how you show up. I had to learn that from the debris of I don't know how many relationship wreckages. Do you understand? Listen to what Murty says about self-awareness. He says, to bring about change. Who is he trying to bring about changes? Well, what change is he talking about? He's talking about a change in you. You know what? Most people just changed their tongue. That's what TikTok did. That's what Instagram did. It gave us psychological talking points. But it's still, like I said, we can articulate the issue. Listen, to bring about a change, you must be aware. You must watch every word, what you feel, what you think. Listen, the next line is, go into yourself profoundly. That's uncomfortable, especially if you've been conditioned from childhood to suppress, repress. One is conscious, one is unconscious. To just push things down, to avoid the self. This is why self-awareness for many people feels like an attack. Now watch this. This is his other famous self-awareness quote. And it ties into relationship as a mirror. He says, the observer is the observed. You are what you're observing. You know, people ain't ish. People be lying. And it be the liar espousing that. The observer is the observed. Are y'all with me tonight? 1-800-920-1580. Get over here. I want to talk to y'all about self-awareness. How self-aware are you?
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Mayor Brandon Johnson is marking the completion of Chicago's newest library solar project.
The new solar panels will help to offset a projected 43% of this building's total electricity consumption.
He says the new installation in Little Village is the city's third completed library solar site, joining projects at the Humboldt Park and South Chicago branches. Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries faced some tough questions from kid reporters on Capitol Hill Thursday during Take Your